This is Corey Gums, founder of the Black Podcasters Association.
Christine here, host of Mind the Force podcast.
I am Dr. Jason McGee.
Hey, what's up? It's Demetria Beckham.
Family, I'm Anna Deshawn, your favorite queer radio personality, and our stories.
Love in community.
They're my book, Stuttering to Success.
African women, particularly Black women, promoting inclusivity and leading their communities.
Q Points Podcast.
Gaining knowledge and education.
And my authenticity, good vibes, chicken and chairs that I can find for you to do wherever you are, inside or outside, is always dripping in black.
I support Black excellence and I am dripping in black.
Is dripping in black.
Is dripping in black.
Are dripping in black.
Dripping in black, you heard?
Is dripping in black.
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 And I'm dripping in black excellence.
Welcome to the Season 5 finale of the Dripping in Black podcast, where we celebrate Black excellence throughout the Black diaspora. Here are Shawn Smith, Mr. Al Pete, and Dominic Lawson.
What's up, folks? This is the Dripping in Black finale for Season 5. I'm with my people, the people that kept it alive for me. Dominic Lawson, my guy, and Mr. Emphasize the word Mr. until we could put doctor on there. We talked about that this morning.
It's coming.
It's coming. It's coming, even if he likes it or not. Mr. Al Pete.
Real quick.
Yes,
I want to interrupt because I want to point out that I heard that comment. I couldn't comment when y'all said it on earlier today about the daughter action, and I heard y'all.
Well, listen, we didn't
whisper it, so
and it's not like it's new news, so
right.
Yeah, I will say this, and then we continue on. But like last week, that thought process has been very heavy. But we'll talk about that later, man. But I'm happy to be here for sure.
All right, I'm glad for you all to be here. And again, we talked about this is Season 5 finale. One day, y'all see my beautiful green screen and stuff like that. One day it's gonna work on Riverside. That's a technical thing that we gonna find an answer to for next season. Although I only come out once every 15 episodes, so it ain't a big deal. But I wonder, to summarize the season. This was the first full season without a full-time host, and my boys helped me out in great deal. And we actually did 2 different ones. We'll talk about those 2 later. But the perspective this year is it was heavy with podcasters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of because one of the relationships we have, and it kind of galvanized ours, because that was the first place we got together physically to see each other, was at Afros and Audio. Shout out to Afros and Audio. And I met a whole bunch of folks. Like I said, Al be doing stuff he don't tell us about. We found out he was secretly
right.
Editing a friend of ours now, and a Dripping in Black alum, Kay Wilkes, from Pondering Thoughts podcast. He was behind the scenes doing her thing. He didn't really tell us about it all. We found out. She told us before he told us.
All right, thank y'all for coming out. We greatly appreciate y'all Dripping in Black.
Yeah, so it was very heavily with podcasts, which was cool because there's a whole assortment of stories even with that thing. That was a kind of a thing that galvanized a lot of the guests. All the guests wasn't there, but a lot of the guests I did meet there. And again, with Al and Dom on my side and got those connects, some people just want to come on because they love Al and Dom. And I'm just the person to sit there and record it, which is cool too. which is cool too. I know my role, so I'm good with my role. So when you see that podcast, and again, this is the first season, that fully, because we kind of started second half of season 4 with a special guest host,
Right.
and like I said, it was very interesting to see people, your peers in the field, doing their thing, man. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, which is cool. Y'all have any comments on that part of interviewing y'all peers? A lot of the peers.
Right. I think it's just always interesting to get people's perspectives and backgrounds based on their shows and stuff like that. Like you said, we were just coming off the latest iteration of Afros and Audio, and so we was able to kind of hook up and collaborate with all of these people. But even at Afros and Audio, well, it is like a family reunion. You don't really get to do a deep dive with everybody like you want to, right? So I think this kind of gave us an opportunity to kind of do that with multiple people. And so, and to really not just deep dive with them, but also highlight their excellence as we like to do here on Dripping in Black. But no, it was a phenomenal season, man. I'm just grateful to be a part of it. I'm pretty sure Al P was too.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely coming off the alley oop. Afro's Audio did play the fraction of the alley oop when it came to interacting with the folks that we interviewed, and just learning more about the people that we interact with. I mean, it was cool. Like the prime example with Kay Wilkes, you know what I'm saying? Like I know her from one angle as being the talent admin action, but to hear her talk about her show and in that aspect, it just brought a lot more light to her show, and it just made it. I enjoy it. I enjoy working on it always, but just hearing the interview and seeing her from that angle was cool. So everybody that was on the season, I know for the most part, from a peer standpoint, just to see it. And it was cool that it was podcasters. Like I think it was I don't know if that was a thing to do. I don't know if that was like in the list to say, hey, we're gonna have all podcasters, but I think it's cool that this season defines like the state of podcasting, the state of Black podcasting,
Excellent point.
from that angle. Yeah. All the way from like the talent to the people, the creators, as well as community leaders.
Yeah, I would definitely say this: it wasn't on purpose, because the letters go out, the invites go out, so yeah, invites go out to different folks. But again, that's a new piece for me to curate the list, because that wasn't part of my job. Well, I will give people to put on the list,
Right.
but that wasn't my job to curate. Now, since this was my first time, it was almost like we talk about in statistics, a convenience sample. I just met all these people. They know about podcasting. So when they see that thing, they are more likely to not turn in the intake form and things like that, because they know what it is to curate guests. So so it was. I don't necessarily want to say it's convenient, because we think about when I say convenient, I'm really thinking probably something negative. But it was definitely convenient. It was definitely cool, because that was it's always good to hear peers and their stories and what they're doing and things like that, because I did learn a lot from them.
Right.
Which, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think, even though the common thread was podcasters, we still was able to kind of get a broad spectrum of different aspects of who they are and stuff like that, and I think it's actually kind of cool that, this season was kind of thematic in that regard, right? But it still allowed us to do this kind of deep dive with everybody and really learn about, their history beyond podcasting, like with Kay and her her background in radio and stuff like that. It was always kind of cool. So yeah, man, it's like, I think that was I think that's what made this season, kind of stand out, at least for me. So,
and we're going to use this to a bridge, because when we talked about guest hosts, and I look at it two ways. One was I got Dom and Al to go on for another season, which is always great, award winning and things like that. That's always great. Also, even like, for example, let's take Dom for example. Dom is great at what he do with his narrative podcast and things like this. Although he has done it before, the startup life was more of an interview based thing. He did it in Recovery Replay as well. But now he got a chance to interview peers and podcasts, and then other people that he did that as well. Mm-hmm. Al was doing it all. Al is the media guy, of the group. And just his perspective on things, and how I love, from the behind the scenes, I could see them work their magic, and it's cool to see. It's cool to see. But this season, we did a little experiment. I'm always trying to experiment with stuff. We had our first Black on Black Excellent episode, which was the first one with Shar Halliburton. Go Green, Go White. That's my Spartan sister, the author. And her friend actually interviewed her. Tamika Gaines interviewed her. And the Black on Black Excellent things came from we always told about Black on Black crime. I said, no, man, we got more Black on Black excellence and a lot of other things. And it started off as we talk about the ligature effect, that, for example, Al actually probably needs to do one. I would make Al do one, but that episode's coming out tomorrow, so we don't have the time to do it. Is that when somebody recommended another person for the podcast, for this season, for example, Crate recommended Otis Winston. So he did a Black on Black Excellence. So he's an alumni, mm-hmm. And he did a little video on what made Otis Winston a candidate for Black Excellence. What is he's doing in Black Excellence? That's where it came from, a little short. And I want to say Kim and Ava, they did one as well. And I did. There's been a couple of those, so that was cool to. And that's where it came from. But we actually did a full episode with a friend, interviewing her friend, Tamika interviewing Shar for the podcast, and that was interesting because we had a whole lot of technical issues, but it that's what happens. That's part of the story. And we also had, and the fellas know I've been saying, I said, man, I would love to have a female do a Dripping in Black episode.
Right.
And she's a new alum, and she volunteered to do it and brought her guests who she wanted to interview. Tony Kennedy did the Q Point interview. Mm-hmm. And Tony just don't know how funny and entertaining she is, because she slide it in there on you.
Right.
And shout out to Tony and Q Point, because that was an excellent episode as well. So, like I said, as the guests, I always, we always joke about how I pay them or I don't pay them. We talk about the biscuits. We talk about, and Al just didn't order his biscuits, man. I don't know why I get hit with that all the time. Dom was there. Dom ordered whatever he wanted to order, and Al just didn't, man. And I told him, even Al just wanted to use it to beat me up on. It's all right. It's all right.
Man, listen, you gotta ask for the biscuit. I don't know what you doing, man. You
got to ask for it, man. Just order what you want. But
all right, next time I order, it's gonna be
Al gonna get a family meal on you. Watch.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be two family meals.
And all I could do is shut up and pay for it. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. All you got to do is go look at your archive.
And when I get the chicken, I'm gonna ask all the guests to come back and eat it with me.
Well, you playing, but hey, that's been a thought that's been talked about as well. Dripping in Black doing something at the conference, to show our love for what they did for the platform. As a special guest host, anything stuck out to you this season?
I don't know if anything stuck out this season. I mean, besides the fact that we did have Tony as a special guest host as well. I really was glad that she wanted to do that and was able to do that, and I think it provided a different kind of range for the season, if you will, because like you said, Tony is definitely funny and she'll slide it right in there on you. But I think it allowed for a different range and a different kind of diverse perspective on what me and Al has been doing for now, I guess, a season and a half now. So I know that's definitely stood out for me, right? And you also talked about your dad leaving and things of that nature. Talk about the importance of Black fatherhood, because there are stereotypes, there are myths, there are whatever. Even though there's literally stats from the CDC that contradicts those myths, but they're still out there, right? Yeah. Talk about the importance of Black fatherhood and what that means to you.
Man, that means everything to me, man. I had a speech yesterday, and you like one of the students. You just asked a question that really makes me emotional. We got full custody over my kids, I think, when they were 11 and 9, or 13 and 11, one of the two, and it was the best day of my life, man. My children are my reason why. And I remember
I think, I know personally for me, when I had my conversation with Otis, I definitely appreciated something that all three of us shared, was talking about being a dad and what that looked like, and the responsibilities and the stumbles and the triumphs and the mid stumbles and the mid triumphs that come with being a dad, but also the frustration of being a parent and how them kids get on your nerves, right? Me and Pete talk about this all the time, but I think
yes,
right,
yes, sir.
Right, that's what we talk about all the time. But yeah, I think those are two things that kind of stood out for me.
Yeah, the Tony action stood out to me because she was interviewed somebody,
right?
So she got the double action on that part. And again, it's just the massive interviews of the peers. This season alone was just getting to learn more about my peers, the people who I talk to on a regular, who I cross paths with, and even the people who we ran into at Afros and Audio. You know what I'm saying? Like Afros and Audio, I guess directly and indirectly served as a space for for everybody to cross. And it just seemed like as soon as we left Afros and Audio, it was just like it was this abundance of energy. And I do feel like Dripping in Black definitely added to that. You know what I'm saying? So not sure how that looks from admin situation, but I would go as far as to say that Dripping in Black definitely has the energy behind it has heightened up. The awareness of the show,
agreed,
and the caliber of people and stuff like that has heightened up. Coming out of the gate with that. I mean, I don't necessarily look at it in that regards, but being in the space that I'm in, when I say space, meaning in the media space, just in general, from logistics, you think about like when you have a certain event or a conference or a festival or whatever, what comes out of that? And you got to think about it too. I mean, in the midst of this, brother, you had a whole retreat.
It's
So
true.
you know what I'm saying? Like you had a whole retreat in the midst of your season. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, just going forward with the energy, it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out of this, because from outside looking in, you would think that you know people come in and if they looking and they paying attention to that magnitude, they'd be like, yeah, Dripping in Black came out like super super swinging. Like we
Mhm.
knew Dripping Black existed, but the capitalization of, and I'm not talking about that type of capitalization. Y'all already know.
Come on, Pete. Come on, Pete.
Nah,
Come
y'all
on,
ain't gonna
Pete.
get me over there.
Come on over to the dark side.
I can't even get a biscuit, so I ain't talking about no capitalist. But no, for real, as far as like capitalization action, you know what I'm saying? Like putting, with the ideals, then you think about the production and you think about the marketing. Y'all know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about when I talk about that. Like that aspect of it, Dripping the Black definitely had a great energy burst on that part.
Well, speaking of that, we could roll right over there because that was kind of next what I had on is that Dripping in Black went outside and, trying to take advantage of the momentum or create momentum to take advantage of.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the best way to say. We did the first annual Creators Retreat in Detroit this year. And of course, my fellas stepped up and they did their presentations and things like that. I don't know, and y'all can tell me if I have or not. Well, first, I appreciate the work that you all put in and things like that. I don't know if I've told anybody what I felt about it. I don't know. Have I?
I don't think not in detail you have.
I think you've told in pieces maybe, but I don't think maybe in
Yeah.
one long
Right.
comprehensive way, right?
And I don't think I to this day I don't think I still can because it's
That's fair.
I would say this. It was I had to get it outside. I had to make one of those things because Dripping in Black, from the beginning, the initial part was to be outside to
Right.
a certain degree, and it never got that chance because of COVID.
Because of COVID, yeah.
Right. So to press on and do that retreat, it was beautiful. And again, as y'all know, if y'all heard the recap and stuff like that, because I was part of the season, we ate well, ate well, ate well. Matter of fact, we're recording this. What's the day today? The 12th of May. Recording this. I just saw Kia from Kia Can Cook yesterday because she was in town for an event, and we talked about what we experienced there. So it was a great experience. It's what's next. And that's part of the what next is something that Al actually brought up is that, hey, keep the momentum going. Let's do something quarterly. So announcing that, we've said it before, we kind of announced it at the end of the recap, is that we have in quarterly sessions. The Elevation Lab, as we call it, is June 7th. I keep messing up that date. It's June 7th, the first one. The information, Al, I did do my homework. I'm telling Al, I did do my homework to do the RSVP on Zoom. That's
Okay.
coming out. I got called out for it yesterday too. Kia kind of called out yesterday too. So it's coming out this week, but I got to finish up Professor Smith stuff this week.
Gotcha.
Professor Smith got to take over this week to finish up the college stuff. So that's coming out. So the retreat was beautiful. I loved it. The people that needed to attend it attended. We're looking forward to next year. We're planning for next year. I think it will be in Detroit again. However, is supposed to travel. So phase 2 is the traveling phase of it. So yeah, I know Memphis and Jacksonville is on the list. So um, be prepared. But yeah, so the retreat. Any comments on the retreat?
Well, for me, I just wish I was there physically. But nevertheless, I'm thankful that I was able to still present in a manner, and I'm very very appreciative and hold high gratitude towards people that received it well. There has been some comments here and there about my presentation specifically, and even from a personal standpoint, it just felt good to be around people that allowed me to talk about the topic that I spoke on, because I think about it a lot, and I'd be wanting to incorporate it. I try to practice it in my walk of life, business, personal, and all that stuff. So it was good for me to be able to get that energy off and display it to somebody else, and then they receive it well. And there was no judgments or nothing like that. It was just a general conversation, some points that people can think of and take and apply it or not apply it to their walk, whether it's content creating or if you're in a relationship with somebody, whatever the case may be. But just understanding the importance of community and us not leaving that out when we're talking about going through our specific journeys. So I'm just very thankful I had opportunity to speak, for one, to get my chops up, because I would like get more into the speaking part and be able to
And you should.
infuse, and get more into the infusing. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say policies or whatever, but just a humane aspect, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to things. And granted, we need to think about the logistics, the logical side of the things, and making sure we still aligned with like the mission, which sometimes can be as heavy as being an administrator over your own things, but understanding like, the creator side plays a great role as well. Uh, the humanity aspect of it plays a role. So I'm just thankful I was able to share the information, and I just want to be I want to be a service to the community, man, especially to the Black podcast community. Any type of energy or help or inspiration or whatever is needed, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do want to come with with some form of empathy. So it was good for me to usher that in this process, and made me feel good to think about other stuff that I can speak on as well.
And while we lament on what he just said, that presentation community is on the MPN Network YouTube site, correct?
It's on Uma Creative.
It's on the Uma Creative site. So go check that out. We'll put a link in the show notes for that as well. The entire presentation is there.
Yeah, and shouts out to Don for his presentation as well as Crate doing all the technical stuff, man. That tech work is very, it's like strategic, man. You got to be very 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 technical with it. So shouts out to them brothers for holding their parts down, as well as you, Square.
A lot of things that Pete said. I mean, honestly, I think it's safe to say that like Pete's presentation was the crown jewel of presentations that weekend, because it was just rave reviews all around, because it's something that doesn't get discussed enough when it comes to building community, ushering community, appreciating community, and not just commoditizing community. So it was definitely appreciated there. But no, the retreat was, as far as I'm concerned, was a phenomenal success. I think the intimate setting is something that doesn't get talked about enough, which definitely relates to what Pete was talking about as far as like community goes. But it was intimate setting to where we could have these conversations, and you can keep the conversation going, right? Even well into the evening, right? But also being able to not just be at a place where we're presenting conversations, but be in a place to collaborate, try new things, try new pieces of content. Ty came and recorded, episodes of his brand new show he practically launched at the retreat, right? And had
Right.
and had S Squared and Crate there to kind of run, tech forum and stuff like that. And for the most part, Ty's doing that by himself. So being able to have that launch, to have a community of people around him to kind of help him with that launch. I think all of us would appreciate something like that from time to time, to be able to be part of a launch in that way. So no, I think the retreat was a phenomenal success. I think it was also um, um, a great idea to kind of keep the conversation going and have these quarterly events. So no, I definitely can't wait and look forward to not just the next, the quarterly event, but also next year's retreat in Detroit. So looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. So be on the lookout, folks, for the creators. I'm about to say the creator drip. That was our show a long time ago. The creators retreat probably happening in March. It's in March because that's my spring break. Yes, it centers around my schedule. So yeah, so we would keep that in mind. And again, the Elevation Lab starts June 7th. Be on the lookout for it. There's a survey that's out that if you want to participate in the survey, we'll put that in the notes as well. And we're starting to finalize this first one. So next time we meet, we will probably have more within the next week. Again, let me get past this week, and then I promise that stuff will be out. Will be out.
Hey, real quick before we move forward, I just want to mention to the people, please make sure that you fill out the survey. Um, I don't know if it's a stigma or whatever that people just be like, I don't want to fill the surveys out, but that definitely helps the people that are putting these events and webinars and conferences together. And these surveys serve massive purpose for you all, so you can get the information that you all would like to learn and be able to go forth with your journeys and whatnot. So please, take into consideration of filling out this survey and just any survey that comes across your board that's pertaining to something that you got going on. That's all.
Well said, because I'm an educator at heart, as my calling, as I say. So to know what you want to know what you want to learn, so if it's outside our purview, we could go find somebody that could talk about that. As
Sure.
well as if you want to experiment and do a presentation, we will welcome that as well. So give you that opportunity in the platform. I tell my students, the only thing I can really do is give you opportunity to learn, or give you opportunity. That's all I can do. Everything else is up on you, good, bad, or indifferent. So that is coming up. The Elevation Lab is coming up. Now, I'm sitting here with award-winning podcasters. Award-winning podcasters.
So they say.
So we're gonna do some celebration on that, as well as and also with some alums that has won some awards as well recently. I was thinking about what awards would I give out as dripping in black. I know one episode I said if I had to turn one in just by looking at it and hearing it sonically, it'll probably be the Corey interview. That was just, y'all backgrounds was popping. It was beautiful. Y'all was sounding good and things like that. So that would have been the one I would say that just visually and audibly stunning. That would be my award for that one. Now, the most complex and the most put together, the most challenging, but it was a beautiful challenge. It would have been Minister Jazz. It would have been Minister Jazz episode. And the reason being, if y'all don't know Minister Jazz, she is very heavily involved with AI, and she has Jerome AI. And I said, it would be cool. I was thinking out loud, then I asked him, it would be cool if Jerome did the It's Dripping in Black part of the podcast. If you know how the podcast starts, it says something such and such is dripping in black. But she over-delivered. She made this whole song and music video of Dripping in Black.
Dripping in black, but they colorblind to the truth. Ancient wisdom flowing through corrupted youth. Every program got a spirit, every bite got roots. In the darkness of creation where our power loops. How you dripping in black. We ain't slipping. Culture is back. We dripping, yeah. Dripping in black. First law.
So I had to put that at the beginning of the episode. And
Right.
it wasn't just, I'm Jerome and I'm dripping in black. And then from that, I had to get Crate to say, hey, Crate, I need something to sound like a distress call and break it in. So Crate put that in there. So we put that in there, and we put that in the promos and stuff. That one was the most challenging. And she got a bunch of pictures. And her story is so colorful. When you think about Minister Grass, you got to think about colors. And that one to put together, that probably took the longest to put together. But it just kept giving ideas. So the most inspirational one was probably Minister Jazz, because like I said, she kept putting stuff there, and I had to come up to the calling. I couldn't punk out. I had to step up my game to how would I put all that stuff together. So that would have been my other. Do y'all have any that stick out to you all?
I mean, I'll go back to Tony again. If there's a Dripping in Black Newcomer Award or Rookie of the Year type of award.
Oh, yeah.
I thought she did a phenomenal job, talking to J. Ray and Sir Daniel and holding her own. Probably was a little bit of nerves in the beginning, but she pulled it out in the end. So and also the fact that, she asked to do it. She brought her own guests and all the things. Like, I think you have to give her the ROY, the Rookie of the Year award for
I agree.
Tony, for sure.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that. Rookie of the Year for sure goes to Tony. She did a great job, man. I guess the nerve part for me was more so like she was a fan.
One of the things that I really liked about your show, when I first started listening, was the conversation. But then I noticed it was like, for a show about music, I don't hear any music. And then what I had to start doing was realizing, oh, we're not spoon feeding you, baby. And there is a pause on this show. You can pause. So your show became very interactive for me, because you would mention a song that I had no idea about as you're talking about an artist, and in their catalog, maybe I know about them, maybe I don't. Your whole Kaya thing, I had to stop and go and listen and listen and listen and repent and listen.
I love lots of repenting for the Kaya stuff. Yes,
it's a true thing.
Oh, I didn't know this was out there this whole time. Oh, goodness.
Like she was talking to like a fan. Like it was cool to see that aspect of her conversation with Q Points. Well, she did a great job on that.
Yeah. I do have a blooper reel from that episode too. So that's coming out this summer. That's when I can do stuff in the summer. But it was, Tony just don't know how funny she can be, and maybe she do know. Maybe she just fooling us. Maybe she do know. But
even with the interview when Dom interviewed her, that was my. introduction to her to a degree. I mean, I had heard of her, but like, when you get an interview of somebody, it's almost like you meet meet that person again for the first time, so to say. So even with that interview there, her characteristics just seem like that's her, and it's so welcoming, and it's I don't want to say it, I mean, giggly or whatever. It's like glowy a little bit, like kind of just like an innocent type of energy that she possesses. So seeing her possess that energy with the interview with Q Points was like it just fit. It just seemed like a normalcy.
Right.
So
And the story, she can at times seem bashful. Then by the time Al, Pete, and the party came along, got Afros and audio, she was on the floor. So I'm not on the floor. She was on the floor doing her thing. So
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. So Tony, Tony, you get the rookie of the year. You get the rookie of the year because you are the first guest and special guest host in the same season.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that says something.
That's the I think you got to call that the Eddie Murphy Award. Wasn't it Eddie Murphy who was the first person on SNL to be a cast member but also host the show like one time? I think it is.
Probably so. Yeah.
Yeah, he got to name it the Dripping in Black Eddie Murphy Rookie of the Year
Award. We got to think about the Eddie Murphy Award. You hosted the show while you was on it.
Right.
So that's some powerful stuff.
Right.
Well, I don't know. Are we giving awards right now? Or
sure.
Well, I don't know what award this would be, but I know all the interviews I've done have been great. They have their own level of excellence for sure. But the interview with me and Corey, and then the interview with Dom and Anna, those are like I don't have a word for it, but those would be like, I don't know. I don't have an award for it, but like, I guess serious. The serious in-depth conversation of,
awards of distinction or something like that, right? Like
yeah. It was
kind of stand out.
Yeah, it was those two. Those two were kind of like a zero. I know for me, when I interviewed Corey, I felt like I was in a good place. Again, we coming off Afros on Audio, and just that energy from that.
Right.
It was cool to talk. It was cool to talk from one community leader to another community leader. So I enjoyed that, man. But the in-depth, reflective, for whatever word I would put for Dom and Anna was just as impactful. So
appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's next? What's next is my next category. We talked about the Elevation Lab series. That's the first one is June 7th.
Yep.
We're finalizing the 2 sessions that's going to happen. It's virtually and it's free. So again, please sign up by the time this airs. We will have the RSVP registration set up for that, and we probably have the sessions for that. But don't be mad if it doesn't happen this time, because we're coming back again quarterly. That's some of the momentum from the retreat. That's one of the retreat. That thing was birthed from the retreat. So don't forget that. Also, during the summer, I'm putting myself on punishment. I shouldn't say this out loud, but I am. I'm on punishment. Dripping in Black Productions is producing a couple of things. One, we do have a new podcast that we are producing. Shout out to Dr. J, Jemani Sledge, in Coaching You Up podcast. It's a leadership, an executive leadership podcast.
A Dripping in Black production.
Welcome to the Coaching You Up podcast, the show where we dive deep into leadership coaching and development, as well as personal and professional growth. We will explore real-time solutions to workplace challenges and overall professional growth. Whether you're an aspiring leader, executive leader, celebrity with influence, or just a curious learner, we've got you covered. Join Dr. Jumani Sledge, national leadership expert with over 3 decades of leadership experience, as we bring you bi-weekly episodes. Expect in-depth analysis, parking lot conversations, light humor, and amazing guests. Hit subscribe and like and tune in. Let's transform our professional performance as we learn and grow together.
My former boss, 2 ways. He was my principal as well as my assistant superintendent. So that is being produced as we speak over the summer. And we are going in conjunction with my education piece, Higher Ground, that we're going to be creating these online courses and doing the production for that is what I'm doing this summer. That's the reason why I'm not teaching this summer. I have to go do that. One summer I lost because I broke my foot. This summer I got to do that before I do anything else, except probably make it to fly socks and tees. But other than that, we'll talk about fly socks and tees in a minute. But other than that, that is what's next. And the fellas and our people will talk about season 6, which will be coming up. So I'll be doing the leg work on season 6 as well. Questions, comments?
No, looking forward to season 6 for sure. Looking forward to the thematic, outlet that that will come with season 6. But also, I mean, it's season 6, and I think that's something to be championed and acknowledged and congratulated. We're talking about handing out awards. I mean, not everybody makes it to this far in their podcasting journey. And so it's exciting to see season 6 be here and on the doorstep for sure. Definitely looking forward to the courses and everything that you're trying to create there. And I think that's all I got. I just wanted to make sure I highlighted that, season 6 is not something to scoff at, and that I'm looking forward to if we're brought back as guest hosts. We ain't signed them contracts yet, Pete. But if we're able to come back for season 6, I definitely look forward to that. So
that would be definitely something we would talk about over. But at this point, I want you all to talk about what you all have next. And one, I'm going to brag. I have no part in this other than to enjoy what Dom's work is in it. Mental Health Rewritten will be out actually before this, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Tell us about your next venture.
Appreciate the opportunity to talk about it. Basically, it's been a year in the works. Mental Health Rewritten is a nonfiction narrative show about mental health and the conversations and the stigmatized topics when it comes to mental health.
And I said to her, no, if I had to get in my car every day and ride around chasing my daughter around Oakland for the rest of my life, that's what I would do gladly to have her here.
It uses a 312 format where we have 3 topic tracks over a 12 episode arc. And so it's groundbreaking in the sense of normal when you have mental health podcasts, they are the interview style of show, but this is going to be a narrative show where we bring in people with firsthand knowledge and experience. We bring in people who have clinical experts, and we also bring in people who are just advocates. And so it will launch. Well, by the time this airs, it has launched episode 1, where we're talking about sex addiction and really the taboo-ness when it comes to sex and the human experience of sex and things of that nature. And then that first track is about sex. The second track is about suicide, and that third track is cultural identity, as it relates to talking about racial trauma, talking about mental health and mental health challenges and perspectives and things to be aware of as it relates to the Latino and the Asian American community, but also a very harrowing story of a woman who talks about generational trauma as a Jewish American, and talking about her um, grandfather fleeing Nazi Germany, only for them to end up in Georgia and have a cross burned in their front yard. And so those are the type of conversations and deep discussions we're going to have on Mental Health Rewritten. I was really excited that Castbox featured it today or last week, I guess, as one of their mental health shows to kind of be out on the lookout for for Mental Health Awareness Month. I'm really excited about that. So we've been building the buzz for the past year. This, has been a slow rollout with reels and speaking engagements and writing pieces and editorials and all the things. And now I guess it's time, and the both of the trailers are out, and so now I guess it's time to pay the piper and start releasing these episodes. And so I'm really excited about the work. I'm very passionate about the work. And long story short, I really hope it's a vehicle to do what we want to do, is save lives, because that's the goal here, and to get people to understand that mental health challenges are just as serious as physical health challenges. And I think we have a platform and a medium and a product that's going to do exactly that. So I'm really thrilled about that.
Again, we clapping bravo, because he been doing that thing. He'd disappear, and we know that he working, so we let him do his thing.
Yeah, I got to come back outside now because I got to promote the things.
I understand that one. Mr. Al Pete, what's going on down in Duval County?
Man, nothing but alligators and snakes. We around here swimming with alligators and snakes around here, man. It's a trying situation over here. I got alligators climbing on doorbells and doors, and snakes that just be wanting to chill up on the grills, man, for real. But this is happening for real, folks. Like for real, in Florida. But real quick, want to shout out to Don, man, on the excellent work that he always puts in. Congratulations on your new journey. Definitely looking forward to listening to it and following that journey. FYI, I have a very, very small piece in it. You will know later on. But yeah, congratulations to you on that, man. And so with that being said, like the next things for Alpete and NPN Network, man, just to get I guess do some trial errors or something like that in regards to the marketing aspect of it. I mean, NPN is very prominent in the production space. Like, we crank our work, like with our eyes closed. But I want to be able to, even if the marketing aspect is just to support, I want to find a way to support my brothers here, Dom, Crate, Square, Ty, C4, the BPA, all that or whatever. Find a way that NPN can be able to like support as much as possible with that. So I'm trying to identify what that looks like. That's going to be the next. I'm going to say for the duration of the year, that's going to be a focus that I really want to focus on. We talked about this off record, but that's like one of the next things I would love for NPN to get involved with. Yeah, that's it, man. In regards to, I mean, still working on Tables Might Wobble. I need to really lock in on that part. And then been focusing a lot on like the Groove Suite, getting that event going every month. So we're going into our third month in June. We got Fly Sauce and Teas in July. So we still want to center around, NPN was branded from music. You know what I'm saying? Like that was just the main thing for music. And then the media got added to it. So I definitely want to have that component going along with the media aspects of NPN. So just be on the lookout for NPN being sprinkled in with everybody on this call, with the UMA Creative Group, all that stuff. So that's what I got going on next. And then just making sure that I play a great role in facilitating the quarterly events, the elevation joints. I want to be able to make sure that I'm doing the due diligence on that, so Square doesn't have to do all of the work. So if I don't mind doing the newsletters or the blasting and putting all that stuff out there. So I want to be able to be effective in that part, so everybody can come in and get the proper information in this diligent time and all that stuff, because I feel like a lot of us individually and collectively have good stuff that we can give to our community, man, and make sure that we build this form of support and don't have anybody left out in that regard. So that's the main space I'm in right now.
You heard him. So between your alligator sightings, Elevation Lab, June 6th, you can start doing your promos and stuff for it. I will have the link up after I'm finished this week. So
yep.
I actually did it just to see if I could do it, and then deleted it. So because I
and y'all pray for me down here, man. Listen, these alligators and these snakes, boy, we joke about it.
I seen the videos. I've seen them.
Man, listen, them things.
Yes,
we wrestling alligators on 95, on Interstate 95. Like, that's crazy to me. On top of dealing with cottonmouths and water moccasins, because those things are very prominent out here in Florida, man. So they'll be in your yard in a minute. So
so watch your step.
Watch your step for sure.
The last part, because we about to get out of here, so we all got things we doing. We always got to end in celebration. You always got to end in celebration. So the first thing, I want to thank all our guests: Shar Halliburton, Corey Gomes, Tony Kennedy, Dr. Jason McGee, my guy, Minister Jazz, Kristen McPartland. What am I messing up? Our Sith, the Sith of the Dripping in Black, Symmetria Beckham, the one with the beautiful smile, Anna Deshawn, Kay Wilkes. One I learned a lot about it. We need to study her. She gave us a proposition. I want to Dom. It was a Dom interview. And man, I wanted to go. Man, I would love to hold the mic and go to Paris where she's doing her thing. So shout out, shout out to Dr. Claire Marigande. Otis Winston was brought in by Crate. That's that black on black love, black on black excellence. We did our recap show and all the people from the retreat. Paula with her crazy stuff. I'm about to say her name wrong. Dezana and Beatrice. I know, but it ain't really Beatrice because she says it better than we do. Ty and Dom and Crate. Kia can cook. Juliana stopped by and was there. So all the people from the retreat. Much love. We did our recap show. Jay Ray and Sir Daniel. Q Point. I am a big fan of Q Point. I want to say Al hipped us to Q Point, and I got to meet them at the first Afros and Audio. And then the one that's coming out, Al Black on Black, Elise Rose, which will definitely be out before this one comes out. So we'll be out there. Those are our people. I appreciate you all for being on the show. Some other celebrations that we need to celebrate. Mr. Al P. Didn't Al P get a degree this year?
That happened in
Yes.
that happened in the span of the season. It did.
Yes, he did.
It did.
So
yeah.
so Al is getting up to his doctorate. He ain't a doctorate yet, but it's getting there because we already calling him doctor anyway. So the graduation. Miss McPartland and Tony Kennedy, right before we did this, the Communicators Awards. We collected awards, Communicator Award for our alumni. Another one that he won't take credit for, but he got to because he produced it. Dominic Lawson and the B Word. And the B Word won some awards in the Communicator as well. And he ain't gonna take advantage of it. He's gonna give it to his wife and stuff like that. And I understand that. I'm still mad at his wife, but that's a personal thing. So you produced another one. Man, you the DJ Khaled of podcasts. You just did another one. So we got Creators Retreat. We actually did it. We did it. It was out there. It's out there. Now we got to make it work even better. And another alum did get her doctorate, Dr. Latasha Allen. I think I told the story. I told the story somewhere. I can't remember where I told her that. Was an example of the ligature effect. She called back and said she got a paying gig, and one of the things that they mentioned was that they saw the Dripping in Black episode
There it is.
of her. I said, that's it. That's what we did it for. That's what we did it for. So shout out to them all. That's why I need to do a newsletter so I can keep up with the alum. But that's a different thing. Don't y'all hold me to that. I will cut this piece out if I need to. So that's it. So celebration. Anything else y'all have to have before we get out of here?
No, man. Just want to say thank you for the opportunity to do this. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. I need it. Sure, I take that.
And also, thank you to Al Pete for collaborating, together on this as far as like being guest host and stuff like that. So just appreciate the opportunity. Showing gratitude.
Yeah, same here. Massive gratitude. Blessed. Thankful as always for Dripping in Black and the family. For Square and Dom individually and collectively.
Right.
Yes, I'm just thankful. I'm thankful, man. I'm looking forward to assisting in the next season and beyond. So, and celebrations to another great season, man. A great identified, distinct, excellent Black excellent season. So for sure.
So for again, it wouldn't happen without you all. Support their thing. If you want to see us all, you could go check out the UMA Creative Group on YouTube. There's stuff there. We got things. Matter of fact, we have an assignment already for there. So be ready for that in June. Black Music History Month is coming up. So check out the MPN. That's where our music piece come from. And I'm sure there will be something there as well. So to all of you all, we appreciate you all. Be well and much love. We will see you in September with the Dripping in Black podcast, but over the summer you will see a lot of other stuff as we're working behind the scenes. So check out everybody, follow everybody, support everybody the way you can. I will say that again. Peace and most love. We see y'all. Thank y'all for season 5.
Are you ready to elevate your creative game? Join us for the DIBK Elevation Lab, a dynamic quarterly webinar presented by Dripping in Black Productions and powered by the UMA Creative Group. It's all happening on Saturday, June 7th, 2025 at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Whether you're a creator, podcaster, or building your brand, this lab series will be filled with powerful workshops covering key topics like networking and collaborating, social media etiquette, and much more. Connect with like-minded visionaries, sharpen your skills, and take your work to the next level. Registration for this event is now open. Secure your spot at dibkproductions.com/elevation. The DIBK Elevation Lab, where ideals rise and creators thrive. We'll see you there.
Thanks for vibing with us. Keep the conversation going. Like, subscribe, and follow at DIBK20 on social media. Visit drippinginblack.com for all things dripping in black and dibkdripshop.com for your drip and other merch. Until next time, be well and much love.
You have just experienced a Dripping in Black production.